Better?
Yeah, here now. A moment ago, it was all glitchy, so no, it's
All right.
cool.
Sweet. So, just for people who have joined in, how we met is through the gym, and we quickly found out we had a common interest in sprinting and team sports. Um, and yourself, you've got a wealth of knowledge and experience in sprinting. So let's get the ball rolling by letting everyone know a little bit about your background and how you got into track or sprint coaching.
Yeah. So on that, yeah. So I'm really excited about sharing my knowledge today because yeah, I've been doing it for a long time, and as you know, I like sharing my wealth of knowledge. So hopefully, at the end of this, a lot of people will be educated and motivated, inspired to be fitter, stronger, and faster than they already are. By hopefully with some of the information to get today. So I'll break it down into sort of a small little story about me, then a bigger story how I actually got to where I got today. So
Sure.
I've been a full-time coach and training people since '94. So that is a very long time.
Long
So
time.
26 years, yes. I've been this as a full-time gig for 26 years. Yeah, as yourself, a lot of people from the gym really know me as training sort of celebrity people like Kate Ritchie, that sort of stuff. But outside the gym is where really is my bread and butter, or speed and agility work, where I do a lot of high performance work. So a lot of people also, yeah, you might have seen me because of who I know and that sort of stuff. I've got opportunities to train with elite athletes like Josh Adokar and Jared Haynes and um, Damien Cook and Willie Mason, all these sort of elite sort of
High
performers
pro.
also. So I've had high profile athletes. So not just train high celebrity sort of stuff. I get to train with them. So where I got to where I am today, because I'm a lot older, I'm nearly hitting 50. I sort of reflect on my life a lot,
And,
and especially right now, I've got too much time on our hands. So I reflect a lot.
and just to let
So
everyone know, you can still move for your age. Like that's something that blew me away once we started running sprinting together. Is wow, that's amazing that you can still move really quickly. But yeah,
I go okay. So you might have sort of footage when I've been training with Josh Otakar. That run I was doing with was over 60 meters, and he beat me by 4 meters, that sort of stuff. So against someone who's supposed to be the best sprinter in NRL, I suppose yeah, I go okay.
yeah,
But yeah, so but it hasn't always been that way. When I was younger, I wasn't really that good. I was always, right now, I'm still the smallest in the group, that sort of thing. And I did athletics for a long time, but it didn't really go too well. But I suppose for me, which was a lucky thing, and I tell kids and parents and that sort of stuff, if you can get into your technique as early as you can, because when you get older, it's hard to change your technique. So if you can do that early, and for me, that just happened by chance, because where we lived, if I stood on my front lawn, I could kick a ball and I could land on our local athletics track. So it was only like 100 meters away in the local athletics track. So I was down there most probably, just say kids were trained at 5, I'd most probably be there at 4 o'clock. And because I didn't have to wait for my parents to pick me up, I was most probably there longer than everyone else. And where everyone else might have just done 2 days a week or something, I was there nearly every day. So I would most probably train with the older kids, the younger kids. I was most probably there 4 or 5 times a week and doing extra hours. So I was kind of forced, not forced, but just by chance and nature, I did a lot more than everyone else.
it was
So
fun
when
for
I was
you.
younger, I enjoyed it, and I still do. I'm very passionate about it. So when I talk about running and um, the years and that sort of stuff, yeah, I get a bit of butterflies in my heart, and I feel the adrenaline pumping. I really want to get out there and race again. That sort of thing. So I still love it, even though it's been a long time since I really first started. So so all those years in primary school, I suppose I trained a lot, and no, I was most probably last and everything. And it sort of all come together when I hit high school. One year, or first year of high school, I won everything. So I even won events like the high jump, where I know I'm the shortest out of everyone, but I used to be able to jump higher than my head. So I was
Right.
okay, high jump. So I won for nearly every year for being in high school. I was sort of the school athlete. So
And
I come from nothing to all of a sudden, and I put it down to just all those years of just doing that little extra all the time. and ingrained in good technique from an early age. So a lot of the other kids, they didn't. They just went on natural ability. They didn't train as much as me. And I didn't do it on purpose. It just happened because, I didn't like being at home. I didn't like studying. So I just walked down the road and did athletics every single day. So, and through that, I won the school championships every year. Then I'd go into the zone. I'd win the zone. And I'd win the next thing was the regionals, and I went on to state. So I went on to and just by accident, I didn't really, people say, oh, you're a really good runner. I don't really think I'm a really good runner because I feel like I did the hard yards while I was young, and it sort of just gave me the stepping stone for then onwards. So, but a big turning point for me, just where I am today, I put it down to, I actually can remember the one moment, I call it my sort of sliding doors moment, where if this didn't happen, I most probably wouldn't be where I am today. So I won one of these different carnivals, and I was at the regionals. I just walked off the track. I just won. And a coach walks up to me and he goes, you're a good runner. I think you could be an Australian champion. I go, well, okay, that's great. He just saw me race and that sort of thing. But he says, not at track and field. I go, well, when you just watching me? What are you doing about? I just won the races and it was 100 meters. What do you mean? He says, beach sprinting. I reckon you'd be Australian champion. So, okay. So, and so I lived in the eastern suburbs, so I was always interested in joining a surf club anyway. My local surf club would have been in Maroubra, but this was at Bronte, so it was sort of out of the way anyway. But so he came to my house, this coach, talked to my parents, told us what he'd done, that sort of stuff, and enticed me to join Bronte Surf Club. And he taught me how to do my bronze and save people, that sort of stuff, so I can actually compete. And then my first season, I made the Australian final for my age bracket, so I was one of the fastest kids in the country. And we took out the relay. So in my first season, I was the Australian champion. And so then it sort of just steamrolled, I suppose, onwards. From then, the next 10 years, I suppose, I just dedicated to athletics and surf lifesaving. And because of him, and he used to go to all the carnivals, poaching the best kids around. So we had a really elite squad throughout the 80s and early 90s. Bronte Surf Club dominated surf lifesaving, beach sprinting, but also track and field too. We had a lot of great track and field runners. The guys in my team, some went on to winning nationals and representing Australia in athletics. Some of the guys went on to playing professional football for NRL, even rugby union, that sort of stuff. So I was surrounded at a young age, just by chance, with all these elite guys. So I don't really consider myself ever elite, even though I won a lot of titles, but these guys are really good. I was sort of as an average. I sort of was in the middle. I just floated in between. I was lucky in a lot of really good relays against. I trained with some really elite athletes and competed against a lot of elite athletes. I did a lot of A grade athletics. So to be an A grade runner, you had to run under 11.2. So I was a consistent under 11.2 runner. I cracked 11 a few times, not many. I wouldn't say I was a really elite where I was cracking 11 all the time, but I cracked it a few times. But I was consistent between 11 flat and 11.2 all the time. That sort of gave me the momentum to, I really did. It gave me that little taste of, I'm actually really good at this. And win that gold when I was 14, 15 years old. It gave me the hunger for it, and just being surrounded by these motivated people and people all the time as that young age, just by chance. So it's where I really enjoyed it, and before you know it, I'm helping other people. Before you know it, I'm doing my courses to become a trainer, and then I sort of just natural progression into becoming a coach. So so I think where I think I'm an okay coach is where I've got just 25 years of actual physical coaching, but I've got 35 years of being a competitive athlete. So even at this age where I'm now nearly 50, I haven't competed a lot in the last few years because I had a shoulder reconstruction where that put me out for 2 seasons. But before I injured myself, I was medaling still at nationals. So I've been making national finals since the age of 14 to now 50. I'm still making national finals. I'm still the best in the country, or one of the best in the country my age. So that's where it puts me today. Yeah. So, and if it wasn't, like I said, if it wasn't for that one moment that guy approached me at that carnival, I wouldn't be where I am today. So that's really why I'm really passionate about what I do. And sometimes I get a bit teary eyed because if that wasn't with that one moment, I wouldn't be doing the job that I love. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have I met my wife at a gym because I work there, so I wouldn't be with her. I wouldn't have the roof over my head. I have the two beautiful kids I have. So, speed, agility, coaching people, just giving back. I'm really passionate about. So I'm really excited about talking with you today. Yeah, so that's sort of an insight on me and where I am now and how I got to where I am today. Yeah.
Yeah, so it seems like life would have taken a different course. Going back to that carnival where that coach approached you and told you, look, I think you'd be an incredible sand sprinter.
Yeah, yeah.
With your experience now and maybe from what he told you, what was it that he saw in you that on the track that made him think that, hey, this guy could really be something special on the sand? Like, how do you pick things from someone running on the track to all of the sudden
Well,
awesome
yeah,
sand
well,
sprint?
his thing was just going to coach to the carnivals and poaching kids that were winning. Pretty much, I think that's how
Oh,
he got around
right,
to it. I don't think it was any sort of special, but there is a
right,
slight difference in techniques, I suppose. I'm a more of a turnover, we're more of a frequency, where more people are more stride length. In a perfect world, you have a bit of both, a bit of stride length and stride frequency. But I find a beach runner's got more on stride length. Frequency guys like me, yeah, I go okay. I still mix, I still win, and but when you're on running track, if you're a frequency guy, every time you hit the ground, you're propelling yourself forward. With sand, if you're more of a frequency, you're just more of sort of spinning the wheels. So if you can spend less time on the sand, is the best. So people were better with frequency. I mean, stride length, go a bit
right.
better than frequency. On
Yeah,
beach is another event that I really enjoy. It's called beach flags. It's only over 20 meters. So guys that are better at frequency and little guys like me, they're better at those, where the guys with stride length are not as good at. So yeah, if I reckon if you're better with stride length, you're better on the beach. Because in saying that too, I know guys I've seen their times on the track and I've raced them on track and I've beat them easily. Then it comes to the beach and their technique just adapts really well to the beach because they've got better length than me. I've got more turnover. So
right.
yeah, so I think there is a definite a style of technique that is on needed for the beach than it is on track too. But no, then you've got some people that can do both. Like when I was growing up, same thing. One of the guys in my team, he won nationals on track, and for Opens that is. So, and he actually went on to represent Australia at 100 meters, but he also won it on beach. But this guy was a freak too. He won the juniors and the Opens on beach, and then the same year also won nationals on track. So he was a freak. He's named Dave D. Royana. He was like, and to look, he was really a stride length ride, not so much frequency. And he went on, when he won nationals, he did nationals, I think he ran a 10.5, but into a 3 meter headwind. So if you equate that, he's run low 10. So these are guys I used to train with and that sort of stuff. So, so
Crazy.
I
Wow.
just sort of held on their coattails for a lot of the training sessions. Yeah, I never touched them.
Yeah, right. So what about these days? What's your work like with track athletes? How involved are you with young athletes and elite athletes today?
Yeah. So I hit all ages. So I've got a lot of juniors, opens, and I do a lot of masters. And because I do a lot of stuff with Roger Fabry too, he helps me out a lot. I've got a lot of field-based players. So at the moment, I'm training a lot of football players. So I've got some guys from Manly, Penrith, the Eels. They're sort of not. There's some of these guys not hitting first grade yet, but sort of reserve grade. So they're looking for their next step up. Then I've got some really young kids where I've got one of the fastest in the country for the 100 meters. Young boy, Harris. He's only 13. He ran 11.6 at nationals.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's flying. So he's then I've got another young guy. He plays for South juniors, getting under sort of 15. So yeah, so I do a lot of footy players, track athletes still, anyone that wants to run fast, and for all age brackets. And I do a lot of masters beach sprinters, so I still love my beach sprint. So I really encourage, if anything, I encourage nearly all my runners to become beach sprinters, not just because I like beach sprinting because I've got a passion for it, but the community is different than any other sport, because you actually teach, especially when I start training. I do a lot of beach sprint for nippers. That's sort of really young kids. I really tell them what you're doing right now is something special, different than any other sport, because you actually do volunteer work. You actually learn how to save someone. You do all your CPR, first aid, which you don't do at any other sport. And you're going to make friendships and a lifestyle that you won't get in any other sport too. So I take to like track. When I go to run a track, I just go there by myself, compete and come home. It's not really fun for the family. But if I do a beach carnival, I'll take my family with me. I'll compete, and we stay there the rest of the day and hang out with other athletes too. So it's a completely different feel of beach culture and lifestyle, and competing. It's a lot more friendly, and like I said, I take my family there. Where I went to the track, I wouldn't do that so much. I just run, compete, and come home by myself, which is a bit more lonely and sort of, a little bit more cutthroat, I suppose, track and field compared to beach. Yeah.
That's quite interesting. I don't think many people would know that about sand sprinting and beach events and community, that there's that, really tight knit.
Oh, the community is great. So I say to the kids straight away, you're not just learning to be a good athlete. You're actually learning life skills that's going to lead you to be hopefully a better adult. So beach sprinting, I really encourage. Even like I said, I've got two really young kids at the moment doing really well. He's the best in the country. I tell him all the time, I'd really like you to become a beach sprinter, because I think he'd smash it on the beach. Even though this other kid also plays footy, he's at a high level, I tell him, no, become a beach sprinter too. So, so I encourage everyone to become beach sprinters, because I love it. And like I said, if it wasn't for that one moment, I'm really passionate about it, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I really, I owe a lot to beach sprinting, athletics, that sort of stuff. So when I do, hopefully when I do talk about these sort of things, people get motivated by it all. So,
yeah. No, all good things. So when it comes to developing young athletes or young, sprinters in particular, what are the key qualities that you look to develop with these younger athletes? Are there any, points or things to look out for that you try to sort of bring up to a higher standard straight away?
Yeah. So to start with, I get it from a lot of parents. They say to me, oh, little Johnny's, he's not performing. He's back end of his race. I reckon he really lacks fitness. Well, a lot of the kids really don't lack fitness, because during season they'll be doing beach sprinting with me. They'll be most probably doing some sort of field-based sport outside of school. Then they're doing their school sport, so they're doing heaps of volume. So they're very, very fit. So that's not the case. So I tell parents, because that's what they say. He needs to pick up his fitness. It's, no, not really. He's super fit. All these kids are really super fit. It's not the fitness they need to pick up on. If they're lacking the back end, for a lot of the young kids, it's usually strength. And they don't really have that when they're young. And it's a lot of postural strength. So I look at posture. So even at a young age, I do get them doing a lot of postural exercises, a lot of core work, that sort of stuff for the younger kids. Because at the back end, that's where they lack that strength, and especially that postural strength. And then I tell a lot of people, if there's from the postural, we look for postural. Another two areas where they might be going bad is that next one is they're trying too hard. So once you start trying too hard, your technique goes out the window too. So we've got to teach them to work on their posture, work on to relax when they're running. There's a fine line to try to give 100%, but still stay relaxed. But no, that's how you do it. And the last one is, because everyone's so focused, and especially when I get a lot of footy players, they're doing a lot of volume. They're not really doing a lot of top-end quality, top-end speed work. So they need to do a lot more speed work at the top end, and try to work to your maximum and try to maintain as much. So everyone else is, because they're working on the fitness, they're doing everything below sub-maximal, which is more conditioning work, but they want to be faster. It doesn't make sense. They want to be fast. They keep working on let's do fitness work, and especially the leaguey guys. Yeah. So I get a lot of league players, and even Rog, he had a lot of league players come to him. So sometimes we only get them for a short period of time, like might be a few weeks out of season, and we've got to do some razzle dazzle in a short period of time. So we try to get them up to that top end speed quickly, and sometimes get a few injuries because we don't have time to build them up into that stage. And I know Rod, for instance, he's had a few texts from the coaches say, you keep sending us guys with injuries because of this. And I think, well, they want to run fast. There's the old saying, the only way to run fast is to run fast. So doing this sub-maximal work that everyone's doing, it's not working. So they've got to do a bit more sub-maximal work. And when you're doing that and you haven't built up to it, you can lead to injuries. So for the guys I'm looking at, I work on a lot of postural exercises to stand up tall. I've got to teach them how to relax when they're running and do a lot more high velocity work with them also. Yeah, that's where a lot of people miss out. It's just the simplest thing. No, people want to run fast, but they're not running fast in training. They're doing everything sub-max because they think, no, fitness is the key to them running fast, but it's not. And I tell people also that you can do speed work and it will improve your fitness, but your fitness won't improve your speed work. It doesn't go the other direction. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they're very interesting points that you brought up, especially the relax and the volume, because, you know, when you look at these team athletes, when it comes to relax and you throw them into a team competitive environment and you get them to sprint 10 meters, 20 meters, or whatever it is, you get them straining and pushing and trying to beat their teammates. So, you know, I guess that's an important element of relaxing and just keeping to your technique and trying to keep true to your form. And then with your volume, which is such a big thing these days, people always think more is better. When instead, quality and actually work is way more important than doing repeated sprints and working more on your fitness rather than that actual speed element. So nice.
And I suppose for me, from a young age also, because I was surrounded by these guys that are super fast all the time, I was always at training sessions were like competing, like a carnival. And so I was training at high velocity all the time at training, not because at the time I didn't know what I was doing. I was just rocking up the training sessions. But now looking back, I had a lot of mentors with those kids around me because I really, I looked up to them, because one year I wasn't doing too well, and the next year I was competing against these kids that were better, or I thought were better than me. Now I'm with them, and now I'm training with elite athletes, that sort of stuff. And every training session was like competition. So a lot of this stuff, I've learned it through all my coaching, but also looking back, that's what I actually was doing to be where I am today. So I did a lot of good quality, top end speed work, and I was doing it without even knowing I was doing it.
There you go. Moving on to the next question I had lined up was, when you see an elite sprinter and then you see, a new or average sprinter, you've probably brought some of those points in your previous question, but what do you see as the main differences between an elite sprinter and somebody who has been training for a few years but just can't quite crack that elite, that elite level? What's the main differences that you tend to see stick out?
Well, you find technique-wise from the elite guys to sort of the guys not under elite, that's just maybe, so say Olympic to national guys or state level guys. Their technique's pretty much all the same. And they most probably got the same stride length, is all the same. What the difference is to the top guys, to the guys that just only a little bit under them, is how they hit the ground. Their force production. The guys that run faster hit the ground a lot harder. Right. So that's where all your strength work comes involved. And they're good at the transitions, and they're technically sound. They're really efficient with everything they do. So they hit the ground harder than anyone else. The technique's pretty much the same. From the elite guys to, say, state level. Yep. But that's how they hit the ground. They hit the ground a lot harder. And, so they've got to work on a bit more their strength work, and their transitions and fluidity of the movements are a lot better. On a whole, technique's just the same. They hit the ground a lot harder. And when I've been training with you guys and with a lot of my youth guys, you're not stepping. You don't let the ground come to you. You come to the ground. You push your foot into the ground as hard as you can. And a lot of people, they just step and they let gravity, the ground, come to them. No, you don't let the ground come to you. You come to the ground. Yeah, you attack the ground. So that's the difference also. So they hit the ground a lot harder. So technique-wise, everyone's technique is really good, from elite to national to state level, that sort of stuff. But yeah, how they hit the ground is a big thing. And whereabouts they hit the ground. So you want to hit the underneath the base of support, and we're on our toes all the time. And when we hit the ground, we're not having our toes pointed. We're sort of dorsiflexed. We're hitting the ground with our foots up, not pointing. So if you hit the ground with your toe pointing, two things are going to happen. You have to decelerate to accelerate, and also you're more likely to get injuries because you're in that sort of plantar flexion position all straight away. So you want to hit the ground with your toes pointed up. So your toes makes sense. Your toes pointing up, and you're hitting your toes pointing. Yeah, you got it. Toes pointing up, not pointing down, but you're hitting your toes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely something I noticed when I started running with yourself. When it comes to hitting the ground, like it's such a audible sound that when someone of a higher level is sprinting, that it's quite violent. That contact with the ground, it's like a horse is running towards you. Well, I've got two greyhounds, and when they sprint, like it's such a audible sense that you pick up them hitting and striking the ground.
When you hear greyhounds, you must try hit them. They're like galloping. You hear them hit the ground. Yeah, they hit them with force. No,
they're actually, what you hear is the ground just getting thumped. And I guess it's similar to thoroughbreds, and then relating it to sprinters as well. You just hear that violent contact with the ground, vertebrating. It's definitely something that stands out with elite sprinters. Yeah.
Yeah, and even like the young guys I'm training at the moment. Harris, he's one of the best in the country, and he's got a great start. He leads the 100 meters all the time for the first 60, and it's his back end. But and he was more of a turnover guy. He's only a little like me, but I've teached him to really hit the ground hard. And you can actually, when I'm talking with his parents, like they say, you can hear him hitting the ground. You can hear him coming to the ground. And they say to me, they notice the difference. They can hear him hitting the ground harder now, propel himself forward, and transitions hopefully into bigger stride length. The more you hit the ground harder, hopefully stride length will improve, and the eventual thing is the speed. So yeah, so that's even the parents have been telling me that I can hear him hitting the ground harder now than he ever used to, and which is the turnover is a lot better.
Yeah, it's definitely a big element, and that kind of leads into my next question, because you did mention strength as part of that hitting the ground. When it does come to strength training, do you see an important transfer from the gym to the field or to the track? And when it comes to exercises, things like step-ups, for example, are they something that will encourage the track athlete to be more violent when it comes to striking the ground?
Oh, definitely. I find when I am at my strongest in the gym, I'm usually running the best on track also. But you always got to start with your base of exercises, like your squats and that sort of stuff, your deadlifts. But if you want to get more specific, get into more your unilateral sort of one arm, one leg, or opposite sides sort of thing. So step ups is a great one also. So yeah, I start off with so I also go through a phase where it's purely just strength work, where we call absolute strength. And we'll go into a phase where we're going into more strength speed, where we might do some Olympic lifts. And then we'll transfer into more speed strength and more plyometrics, and then we're sort of ready for racing. So if you can transfer your style of strength work to eventually running fast is the best way to go also. But what we've been working with lately, with go for it.
So basically what you're trying to get across there is absolute strength. Get strong first, get the athletes stronger.
Definitely.
Then get them powerful, and then get it more specific to sprinting in that sense.
Yeah, you hit the nose there. Yeah. So even with my young kids, I've taken them to the gym, and even though they're young, I don't really hit them with weights, but I do body weight stuff. I do a lot of pistol squats with them, or RDLs with one leg, that sort of stuff, box jumps, that sort of stuff. So I get them into strength work early without using weights, but just body weight stuff. But a big thing, I haven't really touched on it a lot lately, but Roger's been using it. This brand you can see on my shirt, they make wearable resistance, where you might
it's like a vest type of
Yeah.
shirt. Yeah.
So that's a lot of research is going into that at the moment, and that might be the next big thing. So they're saying the strength you gain from the gym, you have to do a lot of strength in the gym to gain a little result. This is more specific. You add in a little bit of weight to get a bigger result. So it's the other way around. So when you go to the gym, you're working in kilos. When we're working with these wearable resistance, you're working in grams. So just they find just these little bit of grams might be. So you look at someone's technique and say they might need a bit more leg lift. So you might place it. So you got a pair of tights, but these tights actually that not like the Jane Fonda sort of wristband weights and that sort of stuff, the leg weights, the big chunky bulky ones. They're only really slender.
To put weights into, right?
Oh no, they stick. They've got Velcro, and so you can put them on specific areas of where you want. So if you see a person externally rotates, well, you might need to put a little bit of weight on the inside, so it makes adjust their stride length or that sort of stuff just slightly. So if they're doing that over and over again, it's improved their technique. So that's what we're sort of going at the moment. So that's the next level from taking stuff from the gym. Now we'll take it onto the track because it's more specific, yeah. Because the only way to run fast, like that, is to run fast. So doing a squat, yeah, it's making it strong, but it's not really that specific. So that's where we're going at the moment. We're in this wearable resistance.
Okay.
So
I've heard podcasts where they'd mentioned similar pieces of equipment where it's wearable resistance with very small amounts of weight on the. Yeah.
Oh, like the super light, you wouldn't really notice, but as soon as you're doing it, you're running, you can notice it then, and you're looking at someone's technique and see it has changed slightly, also just by this little few grams placed on certain areas. So yes, so these weights have got like Velcro on them, so you can place them in specific areas. So they even got some for your arms, upper body, so you might need to work on posture, so you might strap someone on their back. Or so depending on the person's posture, you might strap on the front because they're too much back tilt, so you want to be more upright. And then you got from some wearable resistance on calves to the quad. So you can put them anywhere on your body, depending on what you think this person needs to improve their technique. Yeah, so that's a new style because at the end of the day, everyone knows strength work works. So this is another form of strength work. So it doesn't matter what sport you do these days, you need some form of strength work. So this is strength work to its most specific degree, I suppose you could say.
Yeah. And especially how it manipulates running mechanics as well. Like you said, add a little bit of weight here or resistance there, and it changes the way people move. So
yeah, we've put them through a test run where we just did the same sort of training session we usually do, but you find just a few little grams, like they hardly weigh anything. They fatigue you so much more, and you find it in the target areas that you wanted. So just say, I wanted to activate my hammies more glutes or the posture. At the end of that workout, you can feel, even so they weighed hardly anything, you can really feel them by the end of the workout. Yeah, and they've been really good. So that's the next step where everyone's going at the moment with wearable resistance, doing weights while they're running.
Okay. Yeah. It'd be interesting to play with if I got my hands on some. We've just got a question here from Eddie related to strength training. For your youth, do you start with unilateral strength or bilateral strength first? What do you think about that?
So you've got to first learn all you got your 6 key movement patterns: your squats, lunges, bends, twists, pauses. Six movement patterns. Learn those first, and then you go into your unilateral, bilateral. What's it? Ipsilateral. All those sort of ones. Yeah, getting to single limit of anything is the best. Eventually down the track there, but it's not something you jump straight into. So.
Okay.
So that makes sense, yeah.
Start with the big movements first on 2 legs.
Yeah.
Move towards single legs, for example.
Yeah. Get more specific as your program goes on, getting closer to where you need to race, yeah. So first you need to do a squat with 2 legs. If you can't do a squat with 2 legs, don't worry about 1 leg stuff. Right. So yeah. So two leg stuff, same with deadlifts. Start with two legs. If you can't do them 2 legs, don't worry about 1 leg stuff. They've got to earn that right to do 1 leg stuff. Just don't jump straight into it. Yeah. Okay. And the same with plyometrics. Just start off two leg plyometrics always jumps, but eventually you got to earn. If you can't do it two legs, don't worry about doing it 1 leg. So eventually, you get into the one leg plyometrics is the more specific again. Yeah.
Okay, and it's more skill required as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those things you don't jump into. Make sure you've got a good base behind you. Yeah. The likelihood of injuries are super high. Yeah.
Gotcha. When it comes to your mentors, who have been the biggest mentors for you during your track and coaching development that you would see over the years?
Yeah. So, like I said, looking back, no, I suppose that person that walked up to me on the track that day, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I suppose he'd be one of my big mentors. But like I said, all the people I trained with at the time, all the guys I trained with, they're all, one guy was the national champion at hurdles, another guy was looking for the next step into first grade footy. So they were all nearly professional athletes. So the people I trained with are like my little mentors also. And then the people I competed against, because I did A grade athletics, nearly everyone that went to the Olympics in the 80s and 90s, I would have raced against them because they were all A grade athletics competitors. So the people I competed against, the people I trained with, and the first guy that picked me up, on the first coach that said you could be Australian champion. Yeah, so they were all my mentors. Yeah, even yourself. Even today, I'm always learning. Always listening to what you say, because different coaches got different strengths, different beliefs, and technologies learn all the time. So yeah, I learn from you. When I go to do a session with Roger, I'm taking little stuff from him all the time. So I'm always learning. I never say that I know everything. So, and that's the way everyone should be. Yeah.
I agree. It's interesting when you're surrounded by people who are better than yourself when it comes to like competing on the track. Like you said, you're competing against people who are of a higher level. It forces you to get better, and it forces you to learn new things as well. Compared to being stuck in like being the big fish in a small pond. Once you become the smaller fish in a bigger pond, it sort of motivates you, and it drives you to get more out of yourself and learn. So it's interesting.
Yeah. I won't go into a competition if there was no one in it. Like I actually have done that. I actually a few years ago, won the Pan Pacific Championships for the 200 meters, but hardly anyone showed up. So I don't really tell any people that I won that, because I don't really call it a win. But I'd rather tell people about the state championship that I won, because it was a really good field there. So on beach, I won the state championships two years in a row, and not just the beach, but I won the flags. So to win the flags and the beach, the flags and the beach sprint is a really big thing. It's like on a track and field, winning the 100 and 200. That's the two sprints on the track.
Right.
On beach, it's the beach flags and the beach sprint. So I won it 2 years in a row against really good competition. So these guys I beat before. It's funny, even a lot of good track athletes do a little bit of beach too. So sometimes you get in the blocks and you see it. Even though I'm older, a lot of the guys that I compete against are still competing against it at a high level. And you see guys with little Olympic rings on them and you go, oh. Even though they're older, they've been at the top level of where they've been. So even though they're old, they're taking this shit seriously. So when you're next to the blocks against them and you beat them, it's like, it's an achievement. So I know I'd rather competition than winning something given to me. Yeah.
Right. Awesome. Good stuff, Jayson. This has been a really informative talk. I've enjoyed this time, and time's flown already. We're coming up to nearly 50 minutes. So thank you for your time, and appreciate you sharing your knowledge and your experiences. I'm sure people will get a lot out of this. I'll be able to save this chat that we had and get it out there for people to see later on. So appreciate your time.
I like it.
Yeah.
No, like I said, I love sharing my years of knowledge. Like I said, I've got over 35 years of competing at a high level and 25 years of coaching. So hopefully that people can learn from that. So
yeah, it's definitely priceless information. So good stuff. Appreciate your time.
No. I've loved every minute of it. Thanks a lot, mate.
Okay. See you soon, Jayson.
I talk soon, mate. Catch up. Bye.